Hello everybody, this is Rafael and this is my demo for lab number 5, the vending machine system. So in this demo I will be testing all required cases. I will be testing the reset, the valid soda selection, the reserve soda selection, the coin inputs, the successful soda purchase, the insufficient amount, reserve soda request, and lastly I will be testing the coin rejection when the deposit goes above $10. So, okay, in this board, switches, for example 3 to 0, are used to select the soda. With button center, we request the soda. With button up, we can see it's 1 cent. Button right is 5 cents. Button down is 10 cents, and button left is 25 cents. We can see how they'll add up. With the LED, number 0 shows when the soda is dropped, LED 1 is error amount, LED 2 is error reserve, and LED 3 is coin reject. Also, the left 4 digits of the 7-segment display shows the soda price here, and the right 4 digits, these ones, show the deposit amount. Okay, so let's start by resetting the board with CPU reset. So we see how all the deposit amount returns to 0 and all output LED stays off. Perfect. So we can see after reset, the machine is back to its initial state. We will be testing this at the end also. So now let's start testing with some valid soda selections. So let's start with, for example, 0001. We see it shows 85 cents. And 0000 used to show 55. So 0011 should show 125 cents, like $1.25. Perfect. And 1000 should show $3 or 300 cents. Let's see, 1000. Okay, $3. We can see. So we can see the soda list is working perfectly. Now I will test a reserve soda. So let's set the switch to a reserve code like 1001 or 1010. Let's also see. Perfect. 1010. Okay. For reserve selection, we can see the soda is not available. The system marks it as reserved, and so I'm only selecting it first here. I will request it later to show the actual reserved error. Okay, now we will be testing all the coin inputs. So we can see how button up, it's gonna be adding 1 cent. Perfect. Button right will add 5 cents. 6, perfect. Button down will add 10 cents, so it should be 16. Perfect. And then button left will add 25 cents, 41. Perfect, they all add up. Each time I press a button, you can see the deposit amount on the right side of the display increase by the correct amount. And they show the coin list and deposit register are working perfectly. Okay, now we will be testing a successful purchase. So let's start by resetting. So let's select a soda, like for example, we know that 0000 is 55 cents. So we need to insert enough money. So for example, we will insert 25 plus 25 plus 5. So we can see we match the price, 55 cents. And let's select the purchase button, which is button center. And we're gonna see how the LED 0 turns on. If it turns on, it means the soda was dispensed. And this shows the machine accepted the request and dispensed the soda. So let's do purchase. And we can see how the soda was dispensed. And we can see the LED tells us that everything worked perfectly. So now we will be testing, for example, an insufficient amount case. So let's start by always resetting. And let's choose a soda that costs more than the current deposit. For example, 85 cents. Perfect. 0001 is 85 cents. So let's insert less than that. For example, let's insert only 25 cents. So what will happen when we press button center? So we know that if LED 0 turns on, that's not good, because it means that it accepted the amount. But if LED 1 turns on for amount error, the soda is not dropped, and we can see that showed by the LED. So let's see what happens. Perfect. So we can see this shows the machine correctly rejects the purchase when there is not enough money. And we can see we still have 25 cents in our deposit. So now let's test requesting a reserve soda. What will happen? So let's start by resetting, always. And let's set the switch to a reserve soda code like 1001. And let's say we put 25 cents. And let's try to purchase it. Okay, we can see LED 2 turn on for error reserved. So no soda is dropped, the deposit does not change, and we can see that the machine correctly detects the reserved soda. Perfect. So now we will be testing our coin reject case. Now we'll test coin rejection when the total deposit will become greater than $10, for example. So let's start inserting coins. Wait, okay. Okay, so we are now at $10. Okay, we can see that when we put more than $10, the machine rejects that coin. The LED turns on. We can see again, the LED number 3 turns on for coin reject. So the deposit amount stays the same, and we can see the machine correctly prevents the deposit from going over the maximum allowed. So no matter what we're at, we can see the error at LED number 3. Okay, so at this point we have tested all the required cases, and this completes my lab 5 FPGA demo. I have to say this was the most fun lab for me. I think this is something really cool that I can manage to do this, and I really enjoyed this class. Thank you for everything.